Українці, українки.
Ukrainians, unbreakable people of our country, we have a series of important news, clearly positive for our defense. First, the House of Representatives of the United States Congress voted for a new and significant package of support for our state and global democracy, almost $40 billion. A second vote will be held soon in the US Senate. This decision will then be signed by President Biden and will take effect. I'm grateful to the people of America and to all our friends in Congress and administration for their support. What exactly is positive? These funds will be used as quickly as possible and without bureaucracy to strengthen Ukraine's defense. First of all, it is weapons and ammunition for us, equipment. But not only that, it is also a support for the investigation of war crimes of the Russian Federation, the occupiers, support for diplomatic work, and more. The second decision is important and even historic. This is an update of America's famous lend-lease program. People who remember history well know that lend-lease was one of the key preconditions for the Allied victory in World War II. Lend-lease assistance from the United States to the United Kingdom and the Soviet Union has dramatically changed the balance of power in Europe. Europeans then received a wide range of products under lend-lease, from aircraft to trucks, from aviation fuel to communication means. By the way, American radio stations and other things provided under lend-lease worked for the Soviet people long after the war. For decades, Hitler's Germany, even with all the resources in the occupied territories, could do nothing to counter this potential of the Allies on the basis of American productive capacities. And it is no coincidence that the new Ukraine Democracy Defense Lend-Lease Act was signed on May the 9th. I am personally grateful to President Biden for this support, for this decision, and for such symbolism, because we are now defending freedom and the right to live for all free nations in the war against tyranny, which poses no less of a threat to Europe than it did 80 years ago. Simply put, Lend-Lease is a scheme to give us everything we need for defense. Although formally it is like a loan, in fact it is so profitable that it is incorrect to call it a loan. Firstly, we will have access to modern weapons, ammunition, equipment, and we do not need to look for options to pay for it at all. Secondly, now the President of the United States will not have to agree with Congress on the assistance he provides. This will speed up the delivery. And there is one more thing that should be said separately. Ukraine is constantly discussing security guarantees for itself with our friends in a very substantive way. The G7 meeting on May the 8th, in which our state took part for the first time at the level of leaders, was first and foremost about that. We are negotiating with the world's leading nations to give Ukraine confidence in security for decades to come. This is the first time in the history of our state when it is possible to fix such guarantees. Not something in the memorandum, not some declarative desire for some kind of cause, but specific guarantees, not only legally significant but also spelled out so that it is clear what exactly, who exactly and how exactly guarantees us. God willing. Of course, all these things will not work in one or several days, but I am sure that this May will be of special significance in Ukrainian history. Yes, Russian troops are still on our land. Those outcasts from the Russian state has found for itself as collaborators to make statements of comic scale and cosmic stupidity, as their level was characterized in Heart of a Dog. But no matter what the occupiers do, it doesn't mean anything. They stand no chance. I am confident that we will liberate our land and people. By the way, today in communication with students of French universities, I felt such confidence in their questions, and with new support from the United States, with Lend-Lease, with all the help we can get from the UK and the European Union, from Canada, Japan, Australia, without exaggeration, from the whole free world, it will be easier for us. I also spoke today with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz on defense assistance to Ukraine, energy cooperation and new sanctions. New against Russia. Step by step we are doing everything to make the aggressor most hurt by aggression. However, speaking about the help of partners, we must not forget that victory is gained directly by Ukrainians who are fighting. by all who beat the enemy and strengthen the defense. Just yesterday, 404 servicemen of the Armed Forces of Ukraine were awarded state awards. The title of Hero of Ukraine posthumously was awarded to Colonel Igor Bedzai, Chief of the Aviation Security Service, Senior Inspector Pilot of the Naval Command. In total, more than 13,000 of our servicemen received state awards during the full-scale war. This definitely characterizes the courage of all our defenders. I'm grateful to each and every one of them. Very grateful. Eternal glory to all who fight for freedom. Eternal memory to all who give their lives for us. For everyone. For Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine.